Yeah, I have saved my screen and started the recording. Yeah, so in the last class we was discussing about the mapping, right? So which was very simple mapping, right? So in that mapping we have couple of things which we have to still pending, which we have to discuss, right? So let's discuss. Yeah. Guys, can you see my screen? My voice is audible. Everything is good.
Yes, Vikas.
Yes.
Okay, fine then. Mm, give me a second. Last time. Guys, one more thing. If you miss any of the class, so we have the recording session. So every live class, we have the recording session. You can go and watch the recording session if you have missed the recording session. So if you go to the chat box of this group, right here, you can see this one is the yesterday recording session. Okay, so and this one is the day before the recording session, right? So that you can go and watch the recording session if you have missed any of the classes. Okay, now let me start the class.
Because not
Yeah,
able to
sorry, come again, sir.
read, I'm not able to see
What you are not able to see?
your screen. Not able to see.
I Okay, okay. Could you please rejoin the call? Otherwise, you can click on my icon at the top header. You will see my the picture is there. If you click on that, I think you can see my screen. If it is not working, then you can quickly rejoin the call. Okay. So in the last class, we have. Can you now? Can you see my screen, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So, in the last class, we have discussed about this requirement sheet. Let me share this requirement sheet with you as well, so that you have the reference actually. So, give me a second. Let me share with you so that you can also map at your end. Okay. So, let me provide this mapping sheet as well. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah, so I have provided you the mapping sheet, so you can refer the mapping sheet as well. Okay, now let's move further. So here we have discussed what are the things we have discussed. The first column is clear. Yesterday we have mapped the get method, right? So this thing was clear, and the next the requirement was the post call, right? So we also mapped this one, right? Now the third one. Okay, now the third one. So in the third one we have to check, right? Yeah, third one is also done, right? So in the third one I told you, whenever you will see that the the curly bracket, wherever you see the curly bracket, that means that particular value is the dynamic value which you have to pass. That is not the static thing. Okay, so wherever if you see the double curly bracket and inside that they have used the name, the variable name, so that means that particular thing is the dynamic one. Okay, now moving to the next one. Yeah, so moving to the next requirement. Okay, so which one is the next requirement? Yeah, this one. So guys, as per my yesterday class, now you guys will help me how I can map that particular thing. Okay, so you guys will help me. So let me Mm, okay, so let me give the name. So yesterday we have not given the name for this one. Save and override. So let me save. Get the data using 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 user ID. Okay, clear? Now let me close all. If you right click, and here you can see the close, force close, and close all tab, right? So you will get this feature as well. Okay, so the next requirement which mentioned in your mapping sheet is you have to read this thing first. So you can see in the path, in the resource, what they have mentioned. They have used users and the query parameter, the query param, the name, and the user name. Now the get. So guys, based on the fourth point, you have to guide me how I can map this thing based on my yesterday explanation. So first, what I have to do? First, I have to create the request, right? Create the request, and then you guys tell me what I have to do based on this mapping sheet. Tell me.
Enter the URL.
Mm-hmm. Okay, enter the URL. Okay, and then
Uh, we can pass the username.
okay, you have to pass the username. So here you can see they are using the double curly bracket, and inside that they are, they are using the name. So that means the username is the dynamic value which you have to check actually. Okay, so this thing you have done, right? Only you have to change the username now. Now before that, sir, you have to select the method, right? So I know already get method is there, but get we have to select, and then this thing we have already did, right? The resource one, right, as part of the here, right? Now now here you can see get the user data using the query param, right? So query, what exactly this requirement is saying to you, you can fetch the data generally in the real time. Let me explain you in the real time. uh, if you are using the get method in the real time, uh, we can use the get method by three way, like get all data, get all data, get all any resource data. Okay, so this is the one way, and the second one is get the data using the particular using the, like we can say, primary value, right? So in our case the user id is the primary, but in your case, if it is something different, I'm not asking only user name, right? I'm asking if if in your project, if it is like the name or mobile number, that is the primary actually. Why I'm asking you primary? Because when you are the basically the motto behind of this particular request is to get the specific data, the unique data, not the multiple data, right? So if you are not use the primary key, that is the unique, so tell me, the the server will get confused that which one you have to picked up. Agree? Agree, guys?
Yes, Vikas.
Yes.
Right? So we have to use the primary thing which we have did in the previous call. If you go to the previous requirement, here you can see we have used the user id. So I'm not asking only user id, it could be anything as per your client requirement, as per the client requirement. Okay, so please keep in mind, you don't have to only use the user id. So you will using user id and you are getting the error message, then you will ask me that, sir, you told me that using the user id. So I am asking you the anything which is the primary key, the primary value, which which decided as per the requirement which developer has implemented. Because in the IT industry, nothing is our, right? All the things is decided by the client. If the client is asking to us that please implement this thing, we are implementing this thing only. We have to test that implemented thing, that we are only testing that thing, right? So as per the, because the client is boss, so the client is giving the money, right? So we are following the client actually. If the client will say that you can use as a primary key as a user ID, employee ID, student ID, whatever, based on your data or mobile number or email ID, any primary key, right? So in that case, you can use this particular get method. And we have one more filtration regarding the get method, that is get the data using the query param, using the query param. The query param means, let's suppose user want all the first name which start with API test, right? So it will display all the results. So I think in the first class I have explained you what did you mean by the query param. Let me open the Google Chrome. Okay, let me open the make my trip here. So in the make my trip, here you can see if I clicking on the flight resource, right? So what is your query here? You want to book the flight from Delhi to Mumbai in the date of 21. So tell me, is this give you the single result or multiple result or matching result? It will give you all the matching result, right? Multiple result, right?
Yes,
Correct?
yes.
Right.
Yes, correct.
Similarly, in the real time, we have the client is implement one more get method, and that particular get method, the functionality is totally different. That using the query param, if you let's suppose if I click on, let me inspect this particular element. Why I'm relating the UI and the backend? Because you are much more familiar with the UI, right? So if I explain the same thing in the backend, right? So you will feel that you can easily understand, guys. In the UI testing, in the backend testing, nothing is different. Whatever scenario you can apply in the UI testing, right? UI testing, the same scenario you can apply in the backend testing also. Only in the backend testing you can't verify, the flight is looking like that, the hotel icon is looking like that, the designing stuff, the color stuff, the make my trip is looks like that, that type of stuff you can't test in the backend in the REST API. Okay, all the data related stuff you can test it in the backend as well. If anything, let's suppose is breaking in the backend side, I'm 100% sure it will also break in the UI side, right? So let's suppose in the backend side, what you are trying to do in the backend, you are using the make my trip application testing. Let's suppose you are working in the make my trip company, and you are using the REST API of make my trip, right? Where you have passing the key and the value, like from is one key, to is one key, departure is one key, and return is one key, travel class is one key, and you are passing the corresponding value, right? When you are connecting with the server, it giving you the error message in the backend, right? So I'm 100% sure when you try the same scenario in the front end side, in the UI side, right, you will get the same error message as well. Here you will get the error message, right? So if anything is breaking in data related stuff, anything is breaking in the backend side, 110% it will also break in the front end side, because this data is coming from the backend. This all the data when you are searching anything, you are trying to book anything, data related stuff, all are coming from the backend. In the back end, if it is not working, then how it will come to the front end, right? So here you can see, if I go to the network section and if I try to search Delhi to Mumbai in the date of 21, and let me search. Okay, so here you can see, if I go to the here, uh, it is still loading actually, so let's loading get completed. After then we can move. Guys who has not made the payment, still some of the person has not made the payment, please make the payment today, please. I have also personally messaged you, please respond on that and please make the payment today. Okay, and like some of the person, you know, who are interested but they are not ready to pay, right? So they will also connect with you, like regarding the recording session and the document. So please do not provide. This thing is only for you. Okay, so please do not provide, because I have seen multiple case of that. Okay, so here you can see, when I have, when I'm, you can see it here, you can see it here, the query param. Here you can see question mark itinerary Delhi to Mumbai. Delhi, you can see what I'm trying to search, Delhi to Mumbai, and the date. Here you can see date, right? Same thing we will do it here, right? Now same thing we will do it here, the third requirement. Okay, in the from the mapping sheet. Here you can see, right? Now what are the things completed here? Yeah, now you have to get the username, actually the username, right? So this username, let's suppose you are trying to create the data, you have created the data. After creating the data, let me change the name of this particular data. Okay, after creating the data, you want to fetch this particular data, you want to fetch this particular data. Okay, so the things is, how you can, in the get call, you can, you know, your requirement is that you want to check, you know, how many app name with the API test in your particular resource has created, right? You want to check that thing, right? So what you are doing here now, the question is how I can, you can see the question mark, the question mark is indicate that that is the query param, and this is the this is the key, this is the key, and this is the value. Same thing if you talk about in the front end side, the itinerary is the key here, itinerary is the key, and this is the value which you are passing. Itinerary is the key and this is the value which you are passing. Okay, so here the question is how I can pass the username, right? So you have created the data here, right? So you want to, let's suppose, search the API test, how many API test users are there inside this particular resource, right? So what you can do, you have to go to the param section, you have to go to the param section. Let me remove this query parameter from here. Yeah, you have to go to the param section. This is the, you know, the URL of that, right? Now you have to add the param, you have to add the query parameter, this one, right? So they have used as a key as a user, and sorry, the key as a name and the values as a username, right? So how I can pass the query param? So you have to go to the param session. Here you can see there is one param session. You have to go to the param section and click on the param section, and here you have to pass the key, what key you want to filter out. So let's suppose you want to filter out the name, right? So you pass the name here, and what is the value? Let's suppose you want to filter out the API test, let's suppose. Okay, so you use the API test here, right? So you can see if you add the query param here, it will automatically get appended in the URL. Here you can see I have not added in the URL, but it get appended here. Sorry. You can see it here. It get appended here, right? So your mapping is done, right? Now you can search the data. When you search the data, you can see it here. You can see it here. Inside the data, we have the multiple results are there. You can see API test, right? And again, there are two results which related to the API test, right? So there are two results which related to the API test, right? Now you have used the single query param. Similarly, as per the requirement, you have to test with the multiple. Let's suppose you want to test with the multiple, right? So here, whatever the key you want, right? What key you want actually. So you have to pass that key here, right? And let's suppose you need this API test at the rate gmail.com, right? So you pass it here and you can call it here. So you can see it here in the URL. In the URL, it separated using AND operator, the query param. If you're adding the multiple query param, here you can see using the AND operator, it get appended. You can see the email and the value, right? If you click on send, you can see it here. There is only one result with this condition, and means if both the condition will satisfied, right, then data will get displayed. If any of the condition is not get satisfied, then data will not get displayed. Let's suppose here I am passing some invalid thing. Let's suppose like that, but I am passing the email ID as a valid, right? And I'm trying to search. Here you can see data is blank. No data is there because it's not satisfy the AND condition. Yeah, the email is correct. It matches the email, but you have used the AND operator, and using the AND operator, it should satisfy all the condition which you have written here, right? So let me correct this thing again, right? And let's suppose you want to add one more, filtration. Let's suppose, let me first call. So let's suppose you want to check like status, how many active status are there, right? You want to check that one. Okay, so I will use the active and pass it here. I'm not using the name and the email ID, right? So now you can check the active status. You can see only it display the active status user, right? So you can see only active status user, right? So like that, you can use the single query param and the multiple query param, right? And you have the question,
how many numbers we get after searching the things. What are the how many test data we get? Can we get this from Postman?
come again, sir. What is the query?
Yeah, you have put the query like how many active we have. So we get the data, but we get how many IDs we get. This in header it is showing 19. So we get the 19 is the records we get. Header is showing.
No. This is the different one.
It is different. Okay,
this is
so
the different one. This is
can we get the number like how many IDs are active?
No, we can't get it. Like if you want to check.
Okay.
If you want to check like how many number we have get it, right? So you can't check it here.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
So that
you can't check it. You can only filter the data. If you want to check, then we have the simple way to do that. Copy this thing and Control F and type. Here you can see 20 data. This is the simple search.
Okay.
Simple way to do that.
Have you get? Hello.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Yeah, I have a query. So, as a number name, we cannot use the number there, right? So, who make the condition that we cannot make the number?
Yeah,
The developer?
I will come to that. I will come to that point, sir. Let me
Okay,
complete this thing,
definitely.
and I will also come to that point. Okay. So, like that, you can add the multiple query param, single query param, right? If you are passing any invalid value and if it is not get matched, then it will display you the blank response. Now, the question is here, can we apply the or condition? Like if it is not get verified, then search the data based on the status. No, you can't, right? We can only apply the AND operator here. If you are using the get, I think I have not seen, and this type of things are not coming even in the requirement also because it's not supportive. Okay, so you can only apply the AND operator here. You can't use the, like something like pipeline symbol like that. Okay. Okay.
Because, hello.
So yes, sir.
Suppose that I know the format of the URL. Okay. The search URL you are typing. Okay. After the query param. Suppose that I know that. So can I enter directly there without entering in params?
Yeah, you can. Let's suppose I'm not deselecting here, right? Everything.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
directly copy paste the thing, it will also get added here. It's the
Okay.
same thing.
It will
Otherwise, you can
automatically get it
create the
added in
name and
param.
the value. It will get added here.
So
Both the way are same.
it will automatically populate in params also.
Yeah, it will automate. Let's suppose I'm adding here question mark, right? Question
Yeah.
mark. Let's
Name.
suppose phone number, right? Phone number, right? Is equal
Okay.
to
Yeah.
phone number is equal to, let's suppose, particular value, right? You can see
Yes.
it here,
Got it.
right?
Got it.
You get
Yeah.
added here,
So
right?
one more question. The fields,
Yeah.
the param values you have added, how many time means what is the interval this exists here? The name status, when it will disappear.
I didn't get you that thing.
The name status you have added in params, when it will get disappeared or it will be permanent
No,
here.
no, it's permanent. It's up to you when you want to change actually.
Okay. Okay.
It will
Fine.
not get disappear. So you have created your request and you have to save this thing. Now you can give the name get the data using the query param. You have given the data, so it will not get disappear. It will saved actually. You can see now the question is here. There are multiple questions are here. Who is deciding the name and key? Can I use anything here? Can I use anything here as a query param? No. If let's suppose you are working in the banking application, and as per the requirement will say what are the query param you have to use. I'm not asking what are the things you will get in the response. You can use all the thing in the query param. You can't use all the thing in the query param. It's totally depends on the requirement. Let's suppose your requirement is asking based on the name and the email ID only you can apply the filtration. You can apply the query param, right? So only these two will work, not the other two, right? If they in the requirement they have added that you can also use the query param as a name, email ID and gender and the status, then you can use all whatever they have mentioned in the. When I go to the advanced mapping sheet, there it will be more clear picture. Okay, so let's suppose your requirement is asking to you can only apply the query param as a name and the status. So if you try to apply the email, then it could not work. You will get the error message there. You will get the error message here. It's totally depends on the requirement, which key, and the value is up to you, which value you are using. which value you want to filter out. Okay, the first thing, this thing, the keys is depends on the requirement. If the requirement is asking you, you can use name, email ID, or whatever the things you can see here, you can use all, then you can, and you have to test for all. If your requirement is asking, then you have to only use the query param as a name or email ID, then you have to only use this one. It will not work for the other one. Okay, now the third point, you can use the single query param, and generally whenever this particular feature is implemented in your application, they will use single query param also and the multiple query param also, right? So this things is I'm 99% this, where you can apply the single param also and multiple query param also, right? Now, the another thing is, you have one question in your mind. Let's suppose you start working in the project, right? And you start doing the testing. You know the concept of the query param, right? You created the request and you are trying to apply the query param like that. And when you are connecting with the server, you are not able to get the message. You are getting the error message. Even you are passing the correct, the correct thing, like whatever the value is there, name and email, you are passing the correct thing and you are getting the error message. Now you will come to me and you will ask me, sir, whatever the things you have explained me, that you can use the get call for the query param also, you can filter out the data based on the param, but when I'm trying to do in my project, it's showing me the error message. Why, sir? Right? So this might be your question. So in some of the project, they are not implementing this query param concept. They are only implementing the get all data and get the data using the primary key, right? They are not use this particular particular request in his web service. So you have to first confirm with your client or with your team lead, with your developer, or you have to check your requirement. If you are getting the error message, then you have to check your requirement. These particular things are implemented in your project or not. Developer has implemented this thing or not. If it is implemented, if then you are getting the error message, then it is considered as a bug, right? But it is not part of your requirement, then how you can expect that thing valid?
Yes, valid.
Right? So it's
Yes.
totally depends on the requirement, guys. I'm explaining you why this term, because we all will work in the different project and different requirements. So I'm giving you, the probability, what are the things we will see in the real time. So at that time, you will not get confused. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Give me a second. Now,
Because if we take the example of book my trip, you are taking the example. So in this case, they are sending this API to multiple server, right? In this, it's using the query param only. In those cases,
which example, sir?
like if you are searching the flight from make my trip for this Delhi to Mumbai.
Uh-huh.
So in this
Okay.
case, it will use the query param like
Query
from
param like Delhi, DEL, and the Bombay code, BUM, and the date as a 21/9/2021.
date.
And you can see these all are the query param they are using.
Okay, return is the key.
And here you can see they have used the multiple query param. They have used the AND operator. Here you can see you can see the AND operator and the trip type O. And again, I don't know what is the exact meaning of O
Okay,
actually.
yeah.
I don't know their requirement, right? So you
Right,
can
right.
see the trip type is O, and again they are using AND operator, multiple query parameter. The PAX type is A, the -1 underscore C. So like that they have used
Okay,
the
they use the
multiple query,
multi-para. Okay,
right?
yeah.
Okay, now we can move to the another requirement. Guys, the same thing we will discuss in another mapping sheet, right? So please listen carefully. If you have doubt, please clear with me. So same thing, when you get the response, the client has provided you the what the response, right? They have provided you the response, so you have to match this response with your response, that is similar or not, right? So like that you have to do the testing, but we will not discuss about the testing right now. We will only discuss about the mapping here. Okay, so the testing things we'll discuss in the testing class. Okay, so the same thing guys the BA person is doing. They are gathering the requirement, they are creating the requirement like that actually. Okay, so if you are, you are not only getting the knowledge of the testing thing, you are also getting the knowledge of the business thing, like the BA person and the PO person, right? The same thing, developer referring the same mapping sheet to develop the feature actually. So in most of the company, they can't understand the mapping sheet. If you understand the mapping sheet, then you are the king. You can do anything. You can apply any types of the testing. So it's very important. You have to map the mapping very carefully. If you not map the mapping carefully, then you will not connect with the server. And if you not connect with the server, then how you can continue your work? You will get stuck there, right? So that's why I will spend a lot of time behind that, because this is the very important concept actually. In our 1 or 2 class, I will not finish this thing. I will spend a lot of time behind that. Okay, by taking the different example. When you feel confident, then I will proceed further. Okay. Now, let's come to the another part. What was another requirement, right? This thing is discussed. Yeah, get is discussed. Now the fifth one is the patch method, right? So the patch method, right? So guys, tell me what I have to do. Let me close everything and let me read this requirement and tell me what I have to do.
You have to update patches.
Update the data using the
With
user ID.
the particular user ID.
Sorry, sir, come again.
First, you have to add a request.
You have to update the details of a particular user ID.
Yeah, but how I can map this thing?
First, you need to add a request in
Add a
POSTMAN.
request.
Okay, first I have to add the request, go to the collection, add the request, and here the request get added, and after then
Copy the URL.
Choose patch and enter URL.
okay, I have to select the method, that is verb patch, and
Patch.
after that the
Enter.
URL. What is your URL here? You can copy that URL and paste it here. Now this is the dynamic one, right? So based on the which particular ID you want to update, right? You have to give that thing, right? So let's suppose, can I take the data which I have created? Oh, I have closed the thing actually. Let's again create actually. Yes, let me again create. Yeah, 2209, right? So I will go here and pass the value here, right? Now tell me what the other thing I have to do. Next thing. I have mapped the method and the URL. Then
And then
The changes need to update in
You have
using
to set
param. No, not using param. Sorry.
whatever value you want to update, you just go there in the param and put value, key and
okay.
value.
So whatever the value I want to update, I have to pass it inside the request body. So I will
Yeah.
copy this thing and will go there. The body section, select the raw and and JSON and JSON I have selected here. JSON because the request in the form of JSON and here you can use it. So let's suppose you want to update. In the case of patch, you can pass all the values also and you can pass whatever the value you want to update. That particular value you can also pass it. Okay. So let's suppose you want to update the name, right? So what I will take the name and here I can say updated, right? And this is the user ID, right? So when you call, guys, you can mute. Authentication failed. Let me select the auth here, error token. Let me call. Now you can see it get updated. You can see it here. API test and the name, you can see it here. Right? When you use the same thing in the get call, in the get by user ID here, get by user ID here, you can see the data get downloaded here. You can see verify the data.
yes, update.
Right? So updated. So you can like that, you can update the single property as well and the multiple property as well. Single property as well and the multiple. Right now I have updated the single property. If you want to update the multiple, then you can also update the multiple. So it's the same way, comma and write that particular key and the value. So these two value will get updated. Okay. You can see how the response will looks like. They have provided the reference to you. You can refer this thing, right? Now we have the put method. Put method again, for the put method which we have did for the patch method, we will do for the put method. So right now we will not discuss the put. Yeah, sir. Tell me.
Because see, you have created new request and you have used the patch, right? So why it's showing get if in the left panel, uh, in the new collection, if you go to the postman, right here we have used the patch method, new request. It's showing like before
No,
it's
because
showing
it's
get.
not saved, sir.
We have not
It
saved.
is
That's why.
not saved. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why.
Okay.
If you control S, you can see.
Okay. We require to save. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
But it will take whatever the changes you have made, that one it will take.
Okay.
Okay. Because it was not saved actually.
Okay. Initially it will be get only.
Yeah, by default, if you're adding any request, you can see it here.
So add.
The name is new request and the method is get.
Okay.
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 So let me clean all this thing. Do not save, do not save. And let me rename this folder name. So what name I have to put it here? Update the data using the patch. Okay, clear? Now guys, we have the another requirement, the another thing, that is the put. So put thing is not implemented for this particular service. So it will not work here. One thing I want to explain you that this all the things we have implemented here, you can see I can't use the put method because you know, some of the company, they are not implementing the all the method. They are implementing only get, post, put and patch, and they will not implement the put. It's not necessary to implement all the method like put, instead of, because put and patch both are doing the some, you know, same thing, and there is the very basic difference, right? So that's why some of the project, some of the client, they will not use the put method in your project. So let's suppose I explain you the put method, and when you are trying to use in your project, right, what you are doing, you selected the put method and you pass all the things here, right, and you are trying to update the thing, right, and you are getting the error message, or it is not successfully working, right? So you will ask me that, sir, you tell me that we have the put method, and using the put method you can update the things and replace the thing, but in my project, in my requirement, it is not working. So because first you have to confirm the put method or patch method they have implemented in your project or not, right? So if they have implemented, then it should be work. If they had not anything is implemented, then how it could work, right? So so right now, for in this particular project, the put is not they have implemented the in the correct way actually. So I will discuss the put method in the different requirement, but it is the very much similar which we have already did for the patch, get, and post and delete. Okay.
So because how will we know that which all methods have been used in a project? Is there any way, or we need to ask them orally?
Yeah. They will, whenever you will get assigned in your project, so when you get in the project, you will, when the story will get assigned you, in the story they will mention that which particular method you have to use for, and this particular method what you have to do. So like that they will provide you the requirement sheet, guys. Using that you can identify. Simple. You don't have to waste your time and waste your mind. Simply go to the requirement sheet, the Confluence page, and you can refer. You have to spend the time to read that requirement, to understand that requirement, what are the methods they have used. Clear, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Right. So this thing is not in our hand actually. This thing is decided by the client actually. Which particular method is used. Yeah, the few of the things are decided. Using the get method, using the create, you can create the data. Using the get method, you can get the data. Using the patch method, you can get the data, fetch the data. Using the delete method, you can delete the data. That thing they have to follow as a protocol. This is the protocol and internal architect which they have to follow actually. Okay. And guys, those who has not made the payment, please make the payment.
Sir, how we will get the auth ID? Sir? Auth ID.
Authorization you are asking?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will come to that point, sir. We have the separate 2-hour class for that. I will come to that point. Okay. I will explain you. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Don't worry, sir. Yeah. So we discuss one requirement, right? Now we will move and discuss one more requirement, which is more complicated. This is the very simple. Is this simple or not, guys? Tell me.
Simple.
Simple.
Yes.
Now, what
Simple.
we will move. We will discuss some, closer to the real time world. Okay. So, guys, because if I use any of the demo server, any of the demo server, so there is some, you can't regularly dump the data actually. Okay, you can't regularly dump the data, you can't regularly update your data. So to do the more practice, because if you take any free free web service, there are some restriction, right? So you can't much more create the data, but we need the practice, right? For the practice purpose, right, we are going to create one JSON server. We are going to create one JSON server so that we can do the practice, because this is the another go rest the another party, the web service. You can't multiple time, you can't dump the data, or if you are dumping the data, this particular site application, this particular service, they are frequently deleting the data. They are frequently deleting the data, right? So it's better if we can create on JSON server, we will create on JSON server, and it's up to you how many data you want to dump and what are the things you want to add. You can do it. Okay, for the practice purpose, we are going to create one JSON server. We are going to create one JSON server, and we can create the data, we can get the data, delete the data, post the data, update the data, replace the data. Is it fine? Can means I think you all need the practice. So to do the practice, we need one server where we can dump the data n number of times, and when you check the data tomorrow or day after tomorrow, it will be there. So if I created this particular data here, the create user, right? If I check this data, even I have not deleted, this particular service will delete your data after 10 or 15 minutes. Automatically it will get deleted, right? So when you check this data after 10 minutes or another day, you will not get data. So you will think, yesterday I have created, so even I have not deleted, where the data gone, right? Because this particular service will frequently delete your data. So to do the practice, to do the more and more practice, what we are going to do, we are creating we are going to create one JSON server, and where you can do the practice in the real time. You don't have to create the JSON server, right? You have the project service URL which you have to use, but here to do the practice, I'm going to create one JSON server where we can dump the data, create the data. So guys, now my motto is clear why I'm going to create one JSON server.
Yes.
Yes.
Motto is clear, because when I create,
Yes.
then you will again ask me that, sir, why you have created, is we have to also do in the real time. No, in the real time you don't have to do. The developer will
Client will.
provide you the yeah, right. So developer will provide you, but for the practice purpose we need, right? So what we can do?
Because is that
Yes, sir.
for group all the one JSON server will be created, or each person can create it? How it is?
No, in a local machine, I'm going to create one JSON server in my local machine. So I will guide you how you can create in your local machine. So each person having on JSON server, no one can dump their data in another one.
Okay.
It's up to now. It's your JSON server. You can play with that. Okay. No one will dump the data in your server. Okay.
Okay.
So we are going to create one local JSON server in our machine so that you can do the more and more practice. Okay. So after that, we will discuss the requirement. First, we are going to create the server. Okay. So to create the server, we need some of the things have installed in your local machine. If you don't have, then I would recommend go and download. The first thing is the npm. So first go open the command prompt, open the cmd. I have opened my cmd. In the cmd, here you have to check the node version, node minus v, node space minus v. So everyone, please check at your end the node is installed in your machine or not, and drop the message to me. If you don't have, then I will guide you then how you can download. Everyone, please drop the message. node space minus v. Let me send you this command, node minus v. Please check at your end and let me know and drop the message. Okay, so one person already have. Guys, please everyone check at your end and let me know. Okay, node is not recognized. Okay, some of the person don't have. It is not installed. Okay, not have. Okay, no problem. So most of the person don't have, right? So in that case, what you have to do it here. Okay, in that case, if you don't have the node, so I am providing you the link to install the node, right? So this is, you can take it as a homework and please install the node in your machine. So what is this dome session spit villa? Okay, so here you can see, let me provide you this link. Everyone, you can open in your side and parallelly you can keep downloading. Okay, so I have shared the URL with you, right? So when you open this URL, go and select window installer, this one, this particular one. So it will install the node in your machine, and it's simple installation. Next, and finish, which we are doing like the basic installation, simple process. So after installing the node in your machine, this is, you can take it as a homework which you have to install, and otherwise you can put now parallelly on the downloading, right? So click on this one, window installer. So after installing the node, please go and type node minus v. So it will display the node version. Okay, after that, after installing the node, you have to again check the npm version, npm minus v, npm minus v. So let me send you this command as well, and in the document I have also provided this step. The first step you have to check is node minus v, right? And the second step is npm minus v, right? So you have to, both the things you have to verify at your end, right? After installing the node, right, you will get the node version and the npm version. After then you have to run this command. You have to run this particular command. So this particular command install the JSON server, local JSON server in your machine. So the one person have already the node, I think, as I can see on the screen. I think Jafar, you have already, right? Jafar, are you there? So can you share your screen and run this command? Because at my end, node is, and I have already installed the local server, this JSON server, but at your end it is not. So you can run this thing at your end, and you can share your screen. So I'm giving you this command. Can you share your screen? Okay, your speaker are not working. Okay, no problem. So let me explain you. Whenever, no problem. So when you install the npm, give me a second. Okay, so yes sir, you, any of them, you can share your screen. Yeah, yes sir, any of them, you can share your screen and I will guide you. because at my end it is already installed, so that I don't want to again uninstall and install. So the 2% already have the node installed. You can share the screen, sir.
Because I have installed, but still I am getting the same error. Do I require to restart the laptop?
Can you share your screen?
Can you see my screen?
No, sir. No, it's not visible now.
Mm,
Let me stop my sharing. Now you can reshare. Now you can reshare.
okay. Now is
No, sir. Guys, are you able to see his screen?
No.
But I can't. No. Yeah.
yeah, I shared already, but I don't know what's happening.
You have shared entire screen.
Yeah, I shared entire screen. Entire screen. Yeah, it's entire screen. Yeah, it's. I can see here the screen is shared and stop sharing.
But we are not. Yeah, yeah, it's loading, sir. Yeah. Now I can see. Are you opening the command prompt?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see. So you have the node version npm, right? So
Yeah.
I have shared you. Give me a second. Npm. You also run the command, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you close this command prompt and open and try once again? Even the same problem I was facing, but now it's working fine.
No, I just copy and paste and just press the enter. And
No, even I was facing the same issue. Now I installed that one. Please close the command prompt and
No,
open
he
the new command.
in the case of he is able to already. I think it was working fine, right, sir?
yeah, it's working. I think it's done. So
No. He has installed just now.
no, I installed before, not now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
already.
installed. Yeah, JSON and MPN is it was before. So
Okay,
I
but you
just
have
command
installed the
this.
JSON server now, right?
Yeah, I just I don't know is what find or not. Just I put the command whatever you give us.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. So what happened? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So after verifying the node, node minus v and npm minus v, right? You have to run this command in your command prompt. Like simple, you just have to copy this command and just you have to paste the command here and enter. So it will take like couple of minutes, right? So after installing after installing this thing, right, you have to, the server is installed in your local machine. The JSON server is installed in your local machine. Now the third step was to install the JSON server in your machine, which you have done.
So how can I make sure we is JSON server is created or not?
I will come to that point. Yeah. So after installing this thing, you have to start the server, right? So copy this command, the JSON minus server minus minus watch db dot JSON. So when you create the JSON server, right? So by default, the server file name is db.json. So now you have to start your JSON server, right? So you have to just copy and paste it here and run. So you can see my server is started. Now the question is where I can see the server is installed, right? So let me close the command. When you open the command prompt, right, you can see some directory path here, right? You can see some directory path here. See user admin. In your case, it is different, right? So you have to go to this particular path after installing the JSON server. After installing this particular server, right, go to this particular path, see user admin. When you go to this particular path, see C drive, users and admin, and here you will see one file, dv.json file. You can see one file here, db.json file. Or let me do the one thing, let me delete this file at mine so that I can show you. I have deleted this file. Now I don't have any local JSON server in my local machine. I have deleted that file, right? Now what I can do, let me install the JSON server in my local machine. So you have to run this basic command, right? So you can see, and let me run. So it installing the JSON server in my local machine. It will take couple of minutes. So let's wait for a couple of minutes. Yeah, here you can see the server is installed, right? And the file name which it created, that is the, if you go to this particular path, see user admin, if I go there, give me a second. No, it's not here. Let me start the server actually. Let me find that thing. Let me start the server. I think after then I can get that file. So let me start the server.
Can you post that in the message window as well?
Yeah. Give me a minute. So you can see your server is started and you will get this type of message. Hi, loading db.json, right? And you will get done, and 3 resources are there. This is your the web service URL, right? This is the local base URL where is your server is hosted on the local host 3000 port, the port number 3000. In this port your server is hosted, and inside the server there are 3 resources which by defaults are coming: post, comment and profile, and this is the base URL of the server. So let me go to that particular path, see users and admin. Let's see, there is, yeah, you can see it here, the db.json file. You can see the extension of file is db.json, right? When you right click and let me open as a notepad plus plus, either you can simply open, right, double click. Let me open in the notepad. Here you can see this is your local server. This is your local server, right? This is the post. The same thing when you are working in the database, right? It will looks like that, right? The post and the comment and the profile, these all are the default resources when you create the server in your local machine. These all are the default one, right? So let me share the command with you. Let me share the command first. Okay. Okay. So first, what we have to do, check the node. Check the node version. Okay. So how you can check the node version? What is the command? Node -v. Now after in the second step, check the npm version, npm version. Okay, after then you have to check npm minus v, right? After then you can apply the third and fourth step, right? So let me share this thing with you. Right, I have shared this thing with you. Right now you can see, my local server is ready here. Now if I copy this url, and paste it in the Chrome browser, and I will go here and give me a second, I will go here and you can see, you will get this message: congratulations, you successfully running your JSON server. And these all are the resource which you are using: post, comment, and the profile, and get method, post method, put method, patch method, and delete, and the option you can use it as part of this server. Right now, your server is ready. Now when you next time when you use this server, so guys tell me, when the developer is implementing anything, right, if they have not started the server, can you use their application?
No.
No. Similarly here, we created this server to do the practice, to dump the more and more data, right, to create the real-time scenario here, right? So whenever, let's suppose you start doing the practice, so from the next time you don't have to install the server, because server is already installed in your local machine. So I'm strictly asking you, do not install the server when next time you want to use the server, because the installation process is you have already done. When you start using the server, you have to only start your server, JSON minus server minus watch db.json. You have to just run the 4 command: JSON server minus watch db.json. Your command will get started. Right, when you stop, you don't want to use the server now, so you can stop the server using the control, type the control and C. So and you can see terminate the batch job. So yes, so you can see your execution, your server will stop, it's not running now. Right, so let's suppose you close the command prompt. Right, next time when you coming, you don't have to install the JSON server, you just have to run the command, simple. Right, so you will get this error, you will get this message, and this is the base URL which you have to use it. Right, so if I'm going here, let me use this base URL. Right, do not save. I will go here and let me map this thing. What is the base URL here? This one, right? I will copy this thing and I will go here and let me use this and let me pass it here. Right, so I'm trying to get the data. So which resource you need? Let's suppose I want the post resource, so I want all the data which is inside the post. Right, so I will type post, copy the exact name, I know you are very good in English, right, but always try to copy, because sometimes you will miss. Right, so you have used the post, and when you connect, you can see whatever the data exists in your server. You can see I'm trying to get the post call. You can see this data is inside the post. You can see now you are able to fetch that one. Right, same thing in the real time it is working, guys. Right, so let's suppose I want the comment data, comment resource data. Right, so I will go here and you change the resource name and type and connect with the server. Right, so it will give you the response of, you can see it here, it's connecting with the server. It's your local host server which you have hosted. Let me stop actually. I don't know why it's not. Or let me let me stop the execution. You can see now it's working. Sometime it will take time to connect. Actually, you can see whatever data is here, you can see. Now let's suppose you want to dump the data, you want to create the data in your database, in your server, right? So let's suppose I want to create the data. Let's suppose I want to create the post data, right? So for that we have to select post, right? And then go to the body and then go to the raw and then select the JSON, and here let's suppose this particular data, right? So I will copy this body and paste it here, right? The ID is generated by the server, right? So I have removed the ID. Let's suppose the body, I'm adding here test body, let's suppose, right? And post ID, let's suppose 2, right? And I'm trying to connect with the server. So what I did here, I connected with the local host server and go to the post resource. Inside the post resource, the server will check what method is user is using, the post method. Then it will check the body, what body is user is passing, what payload user is passing. So it will check the body, it is defined schema or not. If it is yes, then it will create the data. You can see it created the data here, and server will give you the unique ID. The server, you can see the ID is 2, right? So when you go to the database, and here let me reload. Yes, can you see data get created here? Correct, guys? Right? So we will, in the tomorrow class, we are going to use this JSON server, but this is not the real time data. This is not the real time data. Okay, so what I will do, I will replace the dummy data with the real time data. So I have real time data which I'm going to replace that data. I will share that data also with my real time data. So give me a second. Yeah, so this is the real time data which we are using in the real time. So I will go here and replace the whole data. Now this is my real time data. I will save this thing. Oh, what happened? Now I will save this thing and close, right? And if I stop the execution, I terminate, and let me again open the command prompt and again start my server. So this is my command to start my server. I will run it. Now you can see my dummy data get replaced with the real time data, right? The real time data. So in tomorrow class we will discuss this thing. So let me provide you this real time data with you guys. JSON object. Okay, okay, any question, guys? So from tomorrow class we will use this server actually to do the practice. Okay, ma'am, how you are terminating the server? Control C. If you type Control C, you will get the message like control button and C button. You will get the message like, oh, it's not responding. Yeah, you can see, or you can type yes or no. So you want to terminate yes, or if you don't want to type Control C, simply close it here, right? Okay, and the other question is, first you need to check. Sir, first we have to complete this two step. After then you have to complete the third and fourth. Okay. So if you have any question, then let me know. This is take it as a homework. Ready your server and ready with your JSON object which I have provided you.
Because it's actually I'm running the fourth step actually. Okay. It's telling watching only for long period. It will take some time.
Okay, give me a second. So guys, the class is over. If you have any query, then you can discuss with me. Otherwise, you can quit the call and you can continue your work. And please complete the JSON part. Create the local server and update the data with the real-time scenario. I have shared the file with you. Yes, sir. Tell me now. You can share your screen, sir.
Yeah.
No, I can't see your screen, sir.
No. That's what the raise hands is there. I was seeing the. Yeah, it is there. One second. Able to see? One second.
Yeah, it's loading.
Yeah, I've given already. I installed the server also. That is completed.
That means
Here,
your server is running. It's okay. Then you have to copy this host URL, and if you run the this host URL in the browser, then you will get the message as a congratulations, you have your server is installed successfully. Okay. Now
but
do not close this window. Do not close this command prompt. Whenever you will do any action in the postman, it will drop the logs here. Okay. It indicates that your server is running, right? If you open the postman, could you please open the postman?
yeah, but now the thing is that my question still it is running or it is completed. It is this thing. This watch.
Your server is running.
Server is running. No issue there.
Running.
Okay.
Your server is running. Now to use this server, you can open the postman and you can map create the request, and whatever you will do in the postman, it will get the logs will drop here.
Okay, but every time I need to start this one while I'm using this one.
Every time you have to start this server if you want to use this particular server. Then
Okay, fine. So that's when it's just watching. It will come until I close it.
yeah.
But I can work as usual.
If you close this thing and if you use this particular server in your postman, then it will not work.
Okay.
Because your server has closed. Okay. Have you installed the postman?
Yeah.
You can open the postman. I think the lower one, the last. Yeah. Open the postman here. Yeah, your postman is running. So I have provided you, this is the dummy data which you are getting in the DB file. So I have provided you one JSON object file. Just copy, open that file, copy all the data and paste it in the db.json file and save it so that you have the real-time scenario data. Okay. Now you can, so you have opened the postman and create the new request here. Yeah. This is already an request. Inside the collection, you have to create. Yeah. Yeah.
Add.
Yeah. Yeah. Now select the get method and pass the base URL. What is your host URL, base URL? Right? So copy the base URL. The server base URL, sir. Sir, server base URL. Now this is your server base URL. They have provided inside the home. Open the command prompt, sir. Now you can see here the resource and the home are there. Two things are there, right? So below the home you can see the URL http colon localhost and colon 3000. So that is your host URL where you have hosted your server. Now you can use this host URL to do the CRUD operation. And in which resource you want data, pass the resource name here, which is exist in your server. I think post is one resource. What you are using, sir, here? Yeah, the resource which is exist, that will only work here. If you click on send,
I'm not done this.
yeah. You can see it giving you the error message as a 404 not found, because this particular resource is not exist inside your server, because you have passed the wrong resource. If you go to the command prompt, if you go and check, the spelling is POSTS, the post call. You can see, yeah, you have to pass the S here. Now you can call. Now you can see what are the data you have created inside the post you are able to fetch, right? So if you go to the command prompt, so what action you have performed here, that will get dumped there. You can see it here. It will take time to dump the other one actually. Sometime it will slower, right? So it will get dumped. Whatever the action you will do in the postman, it will get dumped. So whenever you are using this server, so please open the command prompt and start the server. And in the chat box, I have provided one JSON object file. So you have to copy that JSON object file, open that JSON object file. Yeah, I have provided the JSON object here. So you have to download and open. You have to copy the whole object and paste it in the, replace that file with the new file, with the new content. Open it and copy the whole thing from here. Copy Control A and Control C. Control C and go to the db.json file. Where is your db.json file? Go to that particular file. Yeah, inside user Chandra, and go to and open that db.json file. Open that one. Now you can replace this file. Control A, Control V. Right? Control S. Save this file. Control S. After saving, now if you go and again restart your server. After pasting the data, Control C, terminate this thing. Terminate, Control C. You can see it here. The employees and the income, the new data is get displayed here. Employee and income. So now you have replaced the data with the real-time data, which we will discuss from the tomorrow class. Right, sir?
Terminate means yes, sir.
Yes, you can type Y. It will get terminated.
What it will terminate actually?
It will close your server. Stop your server execution.
No issues, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
Right now, no.
Sir, sir,
Yes.
I today missed the class because I had another Azure fundamental session today and tomorrow. I will be watching the recording and will get back.
Yeah, no problem, sir. You can ask me anytime. Okay, just drop the
Yes.
message. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm getting some error message when I try to restart the server.
Okay, can you share the screen? You can share your screen.
Can you see my screen?
It's loading, ma'am. It's loading.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah.
so some error occurred. Error. Listen, this one. This is the error I'm getting.
So, so you also replace the file, right? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So again, could you please again start the server? Type the upward arrow. Yeah. Yeah. So you are getting the error, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to the where is your db dot file? Go to that particular file. Your C user 61424. Go to
Yep.
that particular directory.
Yep. Yep, I have opened the file db. Okay, it's just showing as a file name as db. Is there any extension
Ma'am,
for
I
the?
can't see your screen. Still, I can see the command prompt.
Okay.
Please share the entire screen. Then I can see.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Not now. It's blank. It's loading. Yeah, I think. No, I can't see. You can reshare. Please wait. It will take some time actually. The black screen.
But I just wanted to check, is the file name that I replaced, db, does it have any extension or is just db? db dot.
Okay, let me share my screen quickly. I can't see your
Okay.
screen, so
Yeah, I don't know, some reason it is not getting shared.
okay. So no problem. So when I provided the file with you, that JSON object file, what you have to do basically.